So I'm sitting in this chair, staring at that wall, and I just don't want to go, man. You know, it's a Friday. I should be psyched up to do something, man. But the whole day at school, I was just stuck in my head, man. I had a goal that I was working on previously that just wasn't working out. I was just feeling kind of just isolated, man, the whole day because I was stuck in my head just with my thoughts just bouncing off the wall in my mind. And then that took away from, social connection. I'd be sitting at lunch and me and my buddies are having a conversation. And I'm just, stuck somewhere else, not being in the moment with them. So I just wanted this day to get over with so I could go on to tomorrow and then deal with that stuff then. But a week before, I agreed to go to this random place with my buddies from church. They asked me, they were like, "Oh, we're doing this thing, you want to come, Johnny?" And I said, "Sure, man." I don't even know what it was. Originally it was supposed to be go-karting, but we couldn't do it, so we had to figure out some other spot. And I was getting picked up by my one buddy and his brother, and I just couldn't be bothered to go, man. I'd already agreed, and I was sitting in this chair just like, damn, man, I don't want to go, but I have to, man. I already said yes, and I don't feel like going, but I did. And as soon as I got in their car, something kind of changed. I just immediately started, joking around with them because all of us had no idea what place we were going to, man. Like, I looked up the website of the establishment, but it was just giving me nothing, man. It looked like laser tag, with neon lights, and it was in the dark and like games and stuff, but it wasn't like laser tag game. It was just a bunch of random games, and they were so vague, man. It would be like Square Game and stuff like that, man. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I kind of joked around with my two buddies in the car about that, and then that kind of ignited a social flow state. The whole ride there, it was a bit of a drive. We just started talking, we were telling stories to each other, we were having fun. And then when we get there, we meet up with all the guys there and we wait around for a bit until we're ready to go. And then we split up to groups of 5 and the teams of 5. We split up and go our own way. Me and my group went into the first room because it was like dozens of rooms, and in the rooms were the games. First room we went into, we had no idea how to play the game. They have like these instructions on the street. We weren't even reading that, dude. It was kind of like rock climbing, if you know those colorful rock climbing things you can go to. It was that, but they changed color, and you have to it was like whack-a-mole. You have to grab and hold on to the one that changes the color blue or whatever it was, and then if you touch the ground you lose and stuff. But they actually had some sick games there, man. They had some basketball games. They had our favorite game was this, man. We found this game. I forget that they actually had names to it, but we just called it Asteroids. It was in the room. It was a giant screen, and it was kind of like Star Wars, where it's you zoom into the galaxy or whatever, and there's satellites and shit and spaceships and shit. But you have near 100 of these kind of not beanbags, man, but it was almost like a snowball. It had a snow kind of texture and even sound to it when you squish it a bit. And you had a bunch of those, and you had to just whip it at the screen to where the asteroids were and try and blow them up. And dude, it was our peak game, dude. We got to level 10 or 15, whatever on that. And dude, we were having a blast playing it, man. I had a hoodie on, I had to take it off and just, carry it around with me and stuff. I'm not trying to be that guy's tying his hoodie to his waist, I'm not trying to be, I don't want people to think I'm driving a Prius or whatever. But man, I was having a blast at this place, man. And I was having fun with, my other buddies here, man. It was really a good time, man. It kind of sounds like a kid's birthday party type of place. We were expecting a bunch of 6-year-olds there, even though we went at 10 o'clock or whatever it was at night. But dude, it was really fun, man. We were sweating by the end of it. We had to go for water breaks and stuff. And after our hour and a half was done, whatever it was, we got out, and then, all the other guys came out with their teams and stuff. And then we got some grub, man, got some food, ate our food, went on the drive home, the one guy and then his brother, the two brothers. And on the drive home, dude, we started going to conspiracy talk, because one of the guys who was driving, he was talking about how he works at a gas station, how this lady came in, sweet old lady type of thing. I forget what he said to set her off, but she just started saying apparently she just started saying that, oh, Justin Trudeau is gonna get, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, he's gonna get, but he's gonna get murked up in the next 2 weeks. This is a few weeks ago, man, so it didn't end up happening, man. But and then my buddy's just working there behind the register, and he's he doesn't know what to say or whatever. And then she just goes off on how apparently she said that that the Illuminati owns us because on your birth certificate your name is in all caps. And what else is in all caps? The name for the Illuminati. And I was what the hell, dude? So then we just started talking about conspiracies after that. We had a conspiracy that, Walt Disney was secretly an Austrian painter, if you know what I mean. Just dumb stuff. We were just having fun, man. And then got dropped off home, and I was so in my head that day, and I just wanted to, F off and just blur through the rest of the day, get it over with. But I went out anyway to do something physical and fun. I got out of my own head. I got my blood pumping. I was laughing. I was having a good time. I was freaking sweating on people's children, Theo Vaughn style. And by the end of the night, I felt alright, man. I was like, I'm alright, man. It didn't even pop into my head what I was upset about that happened the night prior until maybe like an hour after I got home. And I was like, oh yeah, that happened. And that like high, that good feeling of, social connection and, getting out of my head and being present, that high lasted for like a few days, man. After, honestly, I was in a good mood for like a few days after that, just from that experience. And the point of this story is that something that I asked myself was, am I so focused on self-improvement and the bigger purpose and the bigger meaning of things that I'm missing out on making a life? Like with the constant analyzing, the constant like, oh, this is not working out. What is my next moves for this? What am I doing for this? Like, you end up losing out on living. Like living, I mean getting out of your head, being outside somewhere, going to some place, being with other people and connecting with them and being present. And that's a big thing right there, man. I think presence is more important not than I thought. I think it's more important than I'm currently allowing myself to realize. I think I need to jog back my memory to when I first got onto self-improvement. Because right now I'm kind of just treating like, presence is, just getting off social media and just doing your 5 minutes of meditation in the morning. That's presence, man. But if you're from the OG Hamza days and you did the Science of Well-Being course, which is a free course, mental health course you can take. If you did that, then you might remember the study it talked about. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. It's a very famous study. And one quote from the study is, although people's minds were more likely to wander to pleasant topics than to unpleasant topics or neutral topics, people were no happier when thinking about pleasant topics than about their current activity, and were considerably unhappier when thinking about neutral topics or unpleasant topics than about their current activity. So even if you're thinking of something chill, even if you're thinking of, later I gotta go buy this coffee, I gotta go buy this corset, I gotta go Johnny self-improvement it up, whatever. Even that, you're considerably unhappier than if you were just be in the moment, be in the activity that you're currently doing. And another idea from the study is that happiness was less dependent on what people were doing and more dependent on where their minds were. If their minds were, stuck in their head, if they were stuck in their head, or if they were in the moment. And that's what really presence gets down to. It's like, it's, getting off social media and not, having all these random BS thoughts from scrolling, being in your head, and practicing presence through meditation and breath work. But if you can't take that and apply it to your daily life, then what's the worth of it? And it's something I've really been slacking on, man. Like I talked about in the story that, I was in school, I was in my head all day. I was just, my thoughts were just bouncing off the walls of my mind, and that's all I was getting. I haven't pretty often, man, not for the whole day, of course, but there'd be like periods in school where just the whole period goes by and I'm just, like, I'm not being social, I'm not talking to the people around me, and I'm not even getting work done anyway, so I'm not even doing anything really. I'm not really getting anything done. And then times where I'd be at lunch, and I'm, stuck in my head, I'm not being in the conversation, I'm just being, the emo Nemo in the corner. And for the practical advice, how do you be present and actually live in the moment for your day? And it's easier said than done, and getting rid of social media and practicing your meditation in the morning, that is important too. But I think the cheat code that I can take away from that story I just told is physical activity. Because think about it, when you're doing physical activity, like when I went to that place, I don't even know what you'd call that game place, I don't even know. But when I was doing all those games and I was doing all that stuff, I was outside of my head because I was doing things. I was getting physical, I was in my body, I was doing things, I was like throwing stuff, I was throwing basketballs, I was climbing stuff, I was passing stuff to people. Some games, you were jumping over stuff, you were leaping. I was in my body, I was in my environment. Like if you've ever played sports, man, like back when I played football, I was on defense, and during every play, you're not in your head, you're not thinking while the play's going on, you're moving, It's like impossible to be in your head during a play because all the adrenaline's there, it's shit's going on right in front of you, man. You don't have time to, do I go this way, do I go, you act, you just move, you go. It's also why when I give cold approaching advice for cold approaching girls to ask for girls' phone numbers, I always say this one thing when it comes to approach anxiety: just put your one foot in front of you. When you've never walked up to a girl before to ask for a phone number, don't, when you see her, don't visualize you talking to her in the peak of the moment, the peak of the discomfort. All you have to focus on is putting the 1 foot forward, because if you do that, then you get momentum to put the next foot, then the next, and next thing you know, you're walking up to her. And when you walk up to her, when you're moving, when you're getting outside of your head, and of course, in a moment like that, you have you got some anxiety, you know, so you're gonna be in your head a bit, but a lot less than you think. And especially when you do get practice, you know, cold approaching, it almost becomes, you know, it almost becomes like just, I don't even know, like second nature. Like once you start moving, it's just you're there, you're in the moment, your go time, you know. But an example of, you know, some type of physical activity you can do for, you know, social connection that you can do during your week, you can go to a place like I went to. It was called Activate. So I don't know if they got some in the States, man. You can look that up. They got some in Canada. You can do something similar. You can go bowling. You can go laser tag. Go to a pool hall with your buddies is a good thing as well. You can join a boxing club. You can join some sort of MMA club. Join a sport, join football. Really, my favorite one is bowling, man. I say this in a bunch of videos, dude. Like, oh, it's like a meme with, you know, people that know me, and then like, oh, Johnny takes girls on bowling dates, man. But it's so fun, man. Even if you go with just buddies, if you just go with your group of friends. Like I just went maybe like a few weeks ago with a couple buddies and a couple chicks for one girl's birthday, and it had been a while since I went, but it was so fun, man. Like I don't know, even if you're shit at it, dude, it's a fun time, man. It gets you talking shit to your buddies, having fun, and you know, crazy shit could happen. It turns out, you know, your one buddy's a massage therapist secretly, or it's definitely my favorite, you know, option out of those. And this is not exactly something you could just do every single day. Like you can't afford to go bowling every single night, you know. It would be pretty fun actually. But this is more of like a weekly thing, man. And if you don't have the budget to go bowling every week or go to wherever every week, some more like self-improvement options is go for a run with a buddy or do the gym rings in a park with a buddy. That'd be cool too. Don't be afraid to give up the good for the great. And if you have any questions, you can email me at johnnyselfimprovement@gmail.com. That's Johnny with no H, because H's are gay. Peace out.